After 14 rounds of racing, it all comes down to this. 2 drivers can still win the Drivers' Championship, but who will be celebrating tonight and who will be broken-hearted when all is said and done? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the IRL Xbox F1 League, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver61 and GridFinder.com. Bringing you Season 13, Round 15 finale action from the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit here in Mexico City. My name is Kieran Wright, and after a couple of weeks away, I am back for this finale, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime, the ever wonderful SFR Jinx, otherwise known as Dom Owens. Good evening, Dom.
Good evening, Kieran. I am super excited for this race. Mexico, the highest point on the calendar. The air is thin, so take a deep breath because you're gonna need it. Do you know what? It has been a long road, and with everything else looming over us, I think this is going to be one to remember. 36 laps is the distance for tonight's race, plus however many the drivers decide to do during qualifying. 17 corners, 2.6 miles or 4.3 kilometers, depending on where you are in the world. Should see a two stop, but some people won. It's risky, but it can be done. We will see the tyre compounds of the C2, the C3, and the C4. No 1 and 5 tonight, and do you know what? It is nice to see you again, and I cannot wait to get this show on out.
Indeed, mate. It is good to be back. For those who did miss last week's race at Singapore, it was the wonderful Andrew Gatton and Fairmoto, who you can actually see in a McLaren tonight, who provided comms over the last couple of weeks. So massive shout out to those guys taking hold of the reins whilst I have been working in my new job. But I've made sure I had tonight off. But for those who did miss last week, it was PSR Harry who picked up win number 7. That's right, guys. Win number 7 of the season for the Haas team, with Botch Gerbil's Ferrari in second and MCD Coda in third for the Williams team. Going into tonight's race, the standings and the situation is quite simple. Botch Gerbil leads PSR Harry by 11 points. Constructors is done. Constructors was done after Spain. Massive congratulations from Dom and myself to the Ferrari team of Botch Gerbil and Raza 410. Fortunately, no Raza tonight. I am going to run something by you in regards to that very shortly, Dom, so be prepared. But yeah, 11 points is the gap between the top 2. They are the only 2 drivers that can win the championship tonight. So with that being said, Dom, with Raza unable to race, Botch Gerbil doesn't have the Perez to his Verstappen, so to speak. Does this change the approach that Botch Gerbil will take into tonight's race? And how much pressure is on Harry tonight to perform well?
Well, like I said, he doesn't have the Perez to Verstappen at all, and it's going to suck for him. But I mean, Botch Gerbil's a very capable driver. He knows what he's up against. He knows the grid. You know, it's like you said, it's to me previously, it's a top 5 finish for him, as long as, you know, well, if he finishes in the top 5, it doesn't matter what happens to Harry. So, like I said, he knows the grid, he knows what he's got to do. He'll just keep his head down, keep himself focused, and keep a steady heartbeat, unlike myself quite recently. On Harry's front, he's got to hope for a miracle. But it is racing, and miracles can happen. And not just that, but he's got to get used to another controller, because, well, his previous one broke, and I have a speculation. Can't confirm said speculation, but his controller broke, so he's now getting used to that. So it'll be interesting.
You say that, Dom, but I've just looked in the Discord, and Harry has actually posted racing with a dodgy controller, got to love it.
Well,
So Harry is racing with his partially broken controller.
Harry, if you're in the chat, you better stop praying to the racing gods, because you're going to need as much help as you can get if that's the case. Not knocking your driving at all, but with a dodgy controller, it's not going to be easy at all. I know that. I've been through the whole dodgy controller race, but do you know what? I don't think that's the fight I want to see tonight. I want to see if Nathan can get that podium. I really do want to see Nathan get that podium.
Indeed, indeed. And before we get going properly in qualifying, do want to give a massive, massive shout out to one of the admins here in Invictus, IRL Mats21, racing on his birthday. So a massive, massive happy birthday to Mr. IRL Mats. Keith did ask me before we went live if I could just put a little bit in the stream wishing Mats a happy, happy birthday. So Mats, happy birthday from myself and Dom. I'm sure Dom will echo that too.
Yeah, happy Hanukkah. No, I'm kidding. Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. Hopefully this race is a wild one and you can celebrate it with a win and throw a spanner in the works for both drivers. That would
Raza
be...
in the chat. Gutted, can't race tonight, but will be watching. Is indeed. Oh, we haven't just had a Sun Pikachu jump in. And I'm gonna get it out there early, Dom. We've only got 13 races, which makes the job for Bot Gerbil just that little bit easier. Because there's not as many cars for him to have to overtake.
Yeah, he's not going to be getting the 1 million jelly beans that Battle's going to be getting for overtakes of the season if this race is anything to go by. But everyone's on their way out. 4 cars immediately. 3 on the mediums, should I say, currently sitting. And those drivers are Vinny Cousin, DCRS mates. I almost called them DRCS, but okay. And Nathan HRX.
The lead car we've got here is MC Decoder in that Williams. Picked up a podium last week. Picked up 3rd place, first podium of the season for that Williams team in Singapore. If you guys haven't gone back and watched that race yet, head over to the Invictus YouTube channel, youtube.com/InvictusRL, to watch that action unfold and take place. But Mexico, not really mentioned too much about the track. Obviously, we've mentioned the amount of corners. A track you like?
When I get the swing of it, if I do the right amount of practice beforehand, maybe not a whole day's worth, but a good 2 or 3 hours worth of practice, just getting myself in a rhythm. It's a good track. It is. And DCRS mates has hit the wall on Outlet
in the S's.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was going to say about the rhythm. Without the practice, you don't get the rhythm of the S's. You don't feel the limit of the car. The tyres, like I said, are the C2, 3, and 4. And whilst the 4 is grippy, it's not the grippiest on the track. And I mean, the other thing as well is you can put maximum downforce on these cars if you wish to. But like I stated previously, it's in Mexico. It's in the mountains. It is very, very high up. So even with a full downforce setup, the full weight of the air on those wings to push you further into the ground. So, an 11-11 wing setup here could feel like a 4-4, say, at, Monza or something, where it's a lot more, or let's say a better one, Zandvoort, which is ground level, which is sea level. Sorry. So it's a very different feel. And you said from Singapore, we went there last week, and that is sea level, plus I think about 10 meters. So yeah, the cars are going to feel different. It really is going to now be a case of who can get in the rhythm first, and whether or not it's going to be a massive issue for some of these drivers.
Yes, indeed. We've had quite a few invalidations early on. I think the first person we've got is actually on a valid lap. May well be Liverpool Ewan, who was not able to defend his title. Okay, it was actually Lucido that come in and put in the first lap. Jamie's gunner the can't be there, boys. Do us proud tonight. You know we will, Jamie. You know these drivers will too. And there is Liverpool Union with a 1:14.8 then.
Daddy, chill. A 14.8, that's pretty quick, and they're only going to get quicker. The track's going to evolve, and especially with those medium runners out there, you know, they can do 2 laps on those mediums if they so wish. So, yeah, after
Really,
all the said and done.
You had to come out with a daddy chill. You had to, really, you had to do it.
Well, someone had to, and might as well have been me.
Sake.
As I believe,
So,
Nathan 117.7.
17.7. Not bad by Nathan there.
Next
car
across
we've
the
got
line
is Harry.
Indeed it is, and like you said, he's up for contention for the title here tonight. If I'm not mistaken, every race he's been in, he's finished on the top step.
No. There has been a race where he hasn't.
Oh, he is not crossing the line next.
In fact, there's been a couple of races where he hasn't. Anthony Coda goes 17.8.
I'm going to let you look at fastest lap. I'm going to look at something completely different. I'm going to look at the gap to the leader. That is thousands to Liverpool.
Vinny Cousin. Big snap there for Vinny Cousin. He came around that final corner there. Mats is also coming into the pits with no front wing. It's Gerbil coming through the stadium section now. Coming up towards the line. He is going to be crossing the line and crosses the line and goes P3 with a 15.091. We did miss Fairmoto go across the line as well in a 4. Who have we got next? That's going to be Nathan, but I don't think Nathan's going to be on an hot lap. He's not. Very much on an in lap. Is it in lap?
That's really upsetting.
Oh,
however, he was down on his time. Kodo's flying through the S's, if anything, and on the exit of the final turn in the S's, he just overrun. It must have been by a hair, but it happens when you're pushing.
It is indeed. So we've had a few cars set times already. 7 to be exact. We've still got the other 6 left to set times. Well, 5 I should say. Following the retirement of DCRS Smates in Sector 2 in the S's.
PSR Harry's got the intermediates on?
It's got to be a mistake, surely.
No, it's the softs. It is the softs. Sun Pikachu on a flyer, just coming through turn 2, turn 3. Good sector. Yeah, that as well. Really good couple of corners. Kept it nice and tight. Sorry. As he comes into turn 4, really tight. Turn 5, both of these corners very, very tough chicane. Double apex right-hand hairpin. Almost slow enough to clash yourself as a Renault Clio, but takes them magnificently as he comes round into the S's. Now, this is where most drivers get caught because the suspension is either too soft or too tight, but everything seems to look just fine for Sun Pikachu as he avoids running the white racing line on the right-hand side, white track limits line, sorry, as he comes into what we call the stadium section. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this used to be a baseball stadium some years ago. As he comes round the final couple of corners, nice and slow through the second class corner, so that you can get a good apex, a good run down onto the start finish line, and only 348 off of pole. It's not bad.
Dom, could you jump on board with PSR Harry and tell me what type of tyre he's on? Because according to the stream, he's on Inters.
He is.
I'm not quite sure what the thought process is there, because I'm assuming it's going to be a dry. I don't think have we been told? Comms room, here we go. Dry, sunny quali, cloudy race, overcast, but doubt it'll lead to anything. So it is going to be a dry Miss American Pie race.
He may.
I've made a mistake? Question mark.
Well, he's definitely made a mistake, don't get me wrong. I'm actually quite intrigued as to what time he's going to do here, so I'll keep an eye on that for definite, because he is not going very fast at all. Remember, the intermediates are designed to kick up about, I think it's 35 litres of water per second. Just for reference for anyone that's watching, the body is supposed to consume 2 litres of water a day, in comparison to the 35 that these shoot out. So imagine being in one of these cars without a helmet on, behind someone on a set of intermediates in the wet.
Gets a little bit wet, not going to lie. Nathan is about second up on his time at the moment, so he's going to get himself into the 16s as he comes through the stadium section now.
Good section.
Under the Mexico banner.
That's really clean. Really, really clean.
Run up to the line now. What can Nathan do? A 16-0. Puts himself P9. Harry is now coming into the stadium section.
I genuinely don't know what he is thinking, and I'm not sure if he's going to get told off for this or not. I can imagine he is, as this about as dangerous as it gets.
Well,
yeah, 11.5 seconds slower. I am going to go and check.
I'm going to let Dom go and investigate that, and whilst he's doing that, we will stay on board with Cirrus, formerly known as Stallion W7. For those who were watching Invictus last season, Cirrus is not a new driver, it is Stallion, who drove last season here in Invictus in his Aston Martin, 56.5 for that second sector. Comes into the stadium section now, coming up to the final couple of corners. Very, very nice line there. Gets a little bit close to the wall, but it's not too dangerous. Crosses the line, goes P8 with a 1:15.849. We've got Fairmoto about to come up to the line now. He's got a quarter of a second up on time. Lost a little bit of time in that third sector, only a tenth faster. 15.3 for Fairmoto. Still Liverpool Ewan with that 1:14.874. Leading the way at the moment. See who else we've got coming up. We've got Joey. Joey has invalidated. Akido's there, so it's going to be Liverpool Ewan.
Who's invalidated?
Who is slower and has invalidated, so I'm wondering whether he took his foot off of the accelerator there and is going again. He looks to be doing just that. MC Dakota comes into the pits.
So does Harry.
So does Harry.
I have messaged him to ask what's with the enters.
Sirius has invalidated. Joey.
Gerbil has blamed Joey for blocking.
Oh, that is less than ideal. We've got 6 minutes left in qualifying, so still a little bit of time left for these guys to go out and set another lap. On the note of setting laps, Joey is on one at the moment, coming up to the very treacherous S section in Sector 2. We're right on board with Joey, just can see the sort of line that he takes. It is, as Dom mentioned earlier, very, very easy to get a track limits warning, and especially in qualifying, an invalidated lap time. Joey's navigated that pretty well. Now he's just going to navigate this stadium section. You want to try and keep yourself as fluid as possible.
Which, unfortunately, Joey compromised the first of the two.
He did indeed, but I don't think it's hindered him too much. He's about half a second faster. He goes P6 with a 15.512. I don't actually think that hindered him as much as we may have potentially thought it may have. Where's Lakido? Lakido is coming up to the S's now. We'll watch this one from the broadcast camera, just so you can see the lines that these drivers take. They really are trying to get as much of the track as they can. They're trying to hug these apexes and hug these curbs. That is your optimum line, trying to get a little bit of curb on each corner.
And Vinny Cousin invalidates trying to get the optimum line through the first of the S's, the left-hander, which most people run a couple of tyres on the on the grass.
Lakido up to P9 with that time. Does improve by, I think it's about 3/4, yeah, just under 3/4 of a second. Oh, not sorry, just over 1/4 of a second even. My mistake. So that moves him onto a 15.793. Only 0.008 of a second slower than Vinny Cousin. Just showing how competitive this Invictus grid really, really is. And Lakido is the only car out on track on a quote-unquote hot lap, but of course we know that it is going to be an in-lap. So I think Siros is going to be the next car that's going to be setting a lap time, so we will sit with him. Of course, we've already done an onboard with Dom, but I'm sure Dom will sit with Siros as well and come on a few things. Ooh, gets very, very close to that wall there. Almost does a Max Verstappen at Saudi Arabia. Doesn't damage himself, so it's not too horrific as he comes all the way down this straight here. You are pretty much full throttle for the last, what would you say, third of this straight, Dom? You're pretty much at top speed?
I'd say, yeah, the last third of the straight. It is very, very long, the main straight here, in comparison to some tracks. Obviously, you know, it's hard to keep the brakes like at the right temperature there as well. So the braking line is really, really important. You want to make yourself as wide as possible because, you know, if you can't manage to scrub some of that speed on the brakes, the C-Rust does invalidate trying to get, again, the perfect line. But if you don't get the, you know, the optimal braking distance, then, you know, you can always scrub some of the rest of the speed off by turning in violently and letting the car sort of lean on that front left, which is then where you fall into the issues of front tire pressures and front tire temps. If you start causing issues there, it could be a race long issue with overheating and no grip whatsoever. It's a tricky trade-off here. You want to run really high tire pressures, but it's really hot, and you know, it's tough. It really is tough, and this is why there are people much more qualified than we are that deck these cars out weekly in Formula One. So it is easy as Liverpool Ewan takes pole 14.519.
Goes even faster, Ewan, just to consolidate that P1 even more. Now leading by about half a second from botched Gerbil.
With it being the final race, and the title decider, obviously, you know, C-Rust making himself look like Ken Block slightly through the S's. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Lewis Hamilton did once. I remember this. Took a little drift in the Mercedes in the S's around Mexico. So, channel your inner Hamilton.
Final minute of qualifying. PSR Harry is now on the soft tyres. As some Pikachu does his best to get out of the way. PSR Harry is 8 seconds faster than his previous fastest lap time. Bear in mind that previous fastest lap time was on a set of intermediate tyres as Moto moves out of the way.
Quite kindly, to be fair. Realises he's behind and just darts to the off track.
Yes, indeed. How does Harry do? There it is. There is PSR Harry. 14.323. Doing all he can to keep himself in this title fight.
Oof.
Give you guys a bit of background and a bit of context. PSR Harry, at minimum, as the flag does now drop in qualifying, at absolute minimum, needs to finish third with the fastest lap to have any chance of winning the championship tonight. He has to finish third with the fastest lap as a minimum. That is Nathan's qualifying done in P12. Dom was making noises. What have you seen, Dom?
Nathan HRX invalidated around the second to last corner. he was going to improve on his time, but I think it would have put him ninth on a fresh set of softs as well.
I'm not sure, but he's going to throw that lap away. His qualifying is done.
Vinny Cousins' qualifying is also done.
Up on his time. It's not going to be enough to overtake PSR Harry at the moment.
What is
if I'm you and I'm coming into the pits, I don't want to really start these races on these severely worn tyres, but he's going to go across the line. Oh my god! 14.2 from Liverpool Ewan takes pole position from that man there, PSR Harry, in the dying embers. But Dom, Ewan will be starting this race on 3-lap-old softs.
Now, okay, so we've had a glitch like this recently. In fact, Kieran will know what I'm on, what league I'm on about when I say it, but
we'll see.
Someone I call Mini Beastie, it said that he was on 4-lap-old. I said he was on 4-lap-old softs. Yeah, he was starting on a set of 1-lap-old softs that had like 4% wear, and so it could be that glitch. However, Liverpool Ewan did, if it is on 3-lap-old softs, he did manage to make that lap much faster. 44 thousandths faster than PSR Harry.
I don't know, because it's got 3 sets of softs there on the race director. But Liverpool Ewan is on pole. PSR Harry joins him on the front row. MCD Coda 3rd. Bots Gerbil 4th. Sun Pikachu 5th. Fairmoto 6th. Joey 7th. IRL Max in 8th. Vinny Cousin 9th. Lucky Doe in 10th. Seaross 11th. Nathan HRX in 12th. DCRS mates did unfortunately crash in qualifying, so we'll start at the back of the grid. Liverpool Ewan in the chat, in the Discord, has gone, I don't even know why I did that. My tyres are dead now.
Could you imagine what he'd have done if those were fresh?
3 laps old. They were 3-lap-old tyres. That is insane. Oh, that is very overcast.
Oh, the air is moist.
Now, Dom, I know how much you love me doing that little plug. Have you got the plug ready to put into the sink?
Oh, I wish I did. We have many, many chats between us. So if I can find it, maybe.
Are you wanting to plug, or do you want me to plug for one last and final time?
You know what? Seeing as the permutations are there, give it a go, Kieran.
There we go. In that case, over at Invictus, we do stream 4 days a week on YouTube and Twitch. Monday nights at 8 PM. It is Webo Red 5, and Lightning taking you through the action in PlayStation F1. On a Tuesday night at the same time as us on the YouTube channel, it is Malk and Livingwall taking you through the action on PlayStation F2. Wednesdays, PlayStation F3 streamed by JPH on YouTube, and the second dream team of Invictus, as we like to call them, Cam and Fozzy, take you through the action on PC F1. Guys, if you haven't watched a PC F1 stream in Invictus, go and watch it. Cam and Fozzy are fantastic at what they do. Such a professional setup that those guys do have. They thoroughly deserve all of the support that they do get. Please, 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 when you get a chance, go and watch one of their streams. And then on a Thursday, we move across from equal to realistic. Only the one realistic league this season, in Season 13. It is Tim and Malk that take you through the action for PlayStation Realistic Performance on YouTube. If you want to go and watch any Invictus race from start to finish, again, it could be this race, it could be last week's race, it could be any race that Invictus have ever done, head over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/InvictusRL. Follow us on Twitter, @InvictusRL and @InvictusRL_Xbox. Make sure you use that hashtag InvictusRL to join the conversation. If you've got Instagram and you want to follow us on there as well, it is instagram.com/Invictus Racing League. And if you are liking what you're seeing and you would like to join the action and race on track in either the PlayStation or PC leagues, InvictusRacingLeague.com is the place to be for your sign-ups. How Phil is that sick, Dom?
Oh, well, do you know what, Kieran? It's been good to hear that. And after what I've just been told, I think it's a good thing you did as well. Yeah, no, it's been a brilliant ride. Obviously, as you guys know, I thought I'd let it, you know, I thought I'd mention this, as it has been mentioned in previous streams. In fact, we mentioned it first at Portimao. I think it's been mentioned a couple of times since then, but from just now, confirmation, and obviously I don't know if you've seen this yet, Kieran, but this is the final Invictus Xbox race.
So I've already got stuff planned for after the race to comment on all of that anyway, bud. So yeah, I was very much aware before you were.
Yeah, I
I
just double checked with them, and yeah, it's going to be one. But for any of the drivers that are watching the chat, thank you very much. Keith, Matt has said let's go, but I do just want to say thank you very much for everyone that's turned up tonight, and thank you for those guys that tried but couldn't, and thank you for those guys that participated and made our lives some nights hell, having to figure out what battle we're going to keep our eyes on. You know, we need multiple monitors like they've got in the official F1, camera room. It would be brilliant. But no, it's been brilliant. So let's get this one underway and make it one of the best. After you've done all that, before I found out all of what I just found out, Enzo is in the perfect position to be a Max Verstappen.
He is indeed.
And I kind of dive bomb, late braking into turn one, around the outside.
Indeed. I think, Dom, for one final time, it's only fair that I get to go, oh no, Michelle! As we see what tyres everyone is starting on. Quite simple. Top 10 on softs, 11th, 12th, 13th on mediums, Dom.
Yeah, that's pretty standard, actually. I was kind of expecting something like that. It opens up, the medium to hard. It opens up the medium to the soft, if you really want to run two sets of mediums, or it opens up a medium, soft. It very much is pretty much a decent strategy. You really don't want to be in the top 10, and you really don't want to be on pole or P2, because you are just going to be swamped by another driver on the outside that's going to cause you guys to bunch up on the inside of turn one. And that's where issues can arise, and you can say, well, I left a car's space for the guy that I needed to leave a car's space for. It's not my fault he couldn't leave a space for the guy that he needed to leave a space for. So then it's a very controversial place to be, as PSR Harry has left.
That's not ideal for Harry. Dom's going to try and get him in as quickly as he possibly can. That's not going to help his race at the start. But as Liverpool Ewan rounds the final corner and the game takes control of his car and moves him into the pit box, you can see the predicted pit stop strategies there. The soft, medium, or the soft, medium for that two-stop strategy. This is the IRL Xbox F1 League, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver61 and gridfinder.com. We are about to go racing here in Mexico. All we are doing now is waiting for those world famous 5 red lights. Are you ready, Dom?
Oh, as I've ever been.
Here we go. We're waiting for 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. One last time. It's lights out and away we go. MCD Coda gets off to an absolutely fantastic start. He's dropped PSR Harry and Liverpool Ewan is under pressure from the start. Botch Joe moves up into third place. Fair Moto is going to start putting him under pressure now. Who's going to get the lead into turn one? Liverpool Ewan just holds on, but is MCD Coda going on the inside? through the S's here. Livingwall still just holding on. Just holding on. Box Gerbil. Something has happened to Box Gerbil. I will let Dom commentate on that in just a second. PSR Harry, though, dropping all the way down to 9th as Koda goes for another move out the inside of Livingwall Ewan. He's going to head around the outside of this next corner. They are still side by side between these two cars. Who is going to get the lead into the S's? It is still Liverpool Ewan who gets the lead into the S's. Dom, what happened to Box Gerbil?
What didn't happen then? I mean, you know, Vinny Cousin had a brilliant start. You know, Lukey Do and Seaross the same. You know, TCR Spates had a brilliant start as well, but I think it just got really heated in the turn 1-2 battle, and well, yeah, before you know it, drivers are spinning left, right, and centre. IRL Mats is very much the wrong way around. At the time in which I saw him, he does still have a front wing though, so it was just a slight spin. The problem we've now got is, you know, Botch Gerbil. Botch Gerbil not really wants to be. He has to finish inside the top 10. As I say that, Joey is very much in the Tech Pro barrier on the exit of the second to last corner. It's not quite where you want to be. I think the start of this race has been a bit of a letdown for some of these drivers. Botch Gerbil now up in P10 again, like you said, he needs to finish in the top 5, I believe, to definitely, to definitely
completely out of the running.
Yeah, but PSL Harry really close to finishing where he needs to. He's currently sitting P7, 3 places is the gap down to Gerbil, and whilst he is on a charge, he does have Nathan HRX, probably the most defensive driver in Invictus right now, to get past, and he's not going to make his life easy. It is going to be one tough charge for this cookie, and well, if the Canadian can do it, if anyone can do it, the Canadian can do it. So let's hope he's got his toes crossed whilst also keeping them free enough to race.
Indeed, we shall keep an eye on that battle.
So what a brilliant move. Genuine genius to get past us there into what we call stadium section of the track. Nice little alongside on the right hand side on the inside of the corner, and manages to slide up past Seaross and get that move done. Sun Pikachu requires another invite. That is not a problem, my good sir. I can't get you on for some reason. I can now. No, that is PSL Harry, wrong driver completely. I do apologise.
Tom is making a bit of a meal of this.
The game
going to watch now
on Pikachu. On Harry.
Lakido is going to look to try and make a move on Vinny Cousin. Doesn't use a DRS. Also, you can't get it here. It is the 1 detection 2 activation points here at Mexico. So, of course, wouldn't be active, but it will be active for this next DRS straight, which is just after the S's. But Lakido is going to start coming under some pressure from Fairmoto as well. And then, of course, you can see that white car in the background of the screen. Then that is PSR Harry. He needs to be where Vinny Cousin is worst. And, of course, he needs that fastest lap. He needs to be purple. So Lakido is going to look to try and make a move on Vinny Cousin. Decides against it at that moment. He's just going to stick with him, do the more intelligent thing, and wait until this long straight here to make his move. Vinny Cousin pulls to the right. We'll stay on board with
line, and they're open. However, oh my good lord, Fairmoto's got the drive.
Here comes Box Gerbil. Is Fairmoto going to make a double move? We're going to watch it from PSR Harry's on board, looking to take advantage of any mistake that any of these drivers make. Fairmoto has got himself past Lakido, as Matt's picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and Matt has retired. The birthday boy retired in the final Invictus race. That's not what you want to see, especially on your birthday. Such a shame for IRL Mats there. But massive birthday wishes given from Dom and I to IRL Mats. Thank you for everything, Matt.
3-second time penalty. That is unfortunate.
It is indeed. Happy birthday, Matt. Go and enjoy the rest of your evening, my friend. DCRS Smates has also retired.
That's a safety car.
That is a safety car! Oh, that could change things. That could change a few things here, Mr. Owens.
Yes, immediate pit stops from Ewan, Coda, Cousin should come in. Fairmotor should also come in. Harry the same. He hasn't. He's taking track position. Fairmotor's in. Lukidu's in. Do you know what? I'm going to change my. I'm going to change this to tyres.
Nathan stays out. Vinny Cousin goes on to the hards. Everyone else who's come into the pits has gone onto the mediums. Vinny Cousin is the only driver to have selected those hard tyres. If you were Harry, Dom, what would you have done at that point? Would you have come in or would you have stayed out to go for that track position as he's done?
You have to come in. You have to. I mean, he's been on these softs now for 4 laps, plus qualifying, that's 5. I'm going to guess, in fact, I'm going to jump up to him to see what those tyres do look like. There's a slight grain in. It is overcast, so the fact that that's cooling down the tyres a little bit. I mean, I'm going to guess he's somewhere in the 40% range on his tyres. So for the safety car, you might have one decent before it's Silverstone, actually. I've stayed out for track position. I've had one really, really fast lap where I've been able to lose people by about a second by going early enough. But as soon as the tyres behind, click on, it's a case of they'll catch you, and it's, it's not what I'd do. It really isn't. He's going to have to come in. He has to.
It was an interesting decision. He hasn't done it. Sun Pikachu's left the session again. Dom, do you want to try and get him in once again? But I will say, if this was the final lap of the race and we were to cross the line and finish now, PSR Harry would be Drivers' Champion. With it how it is at the moment, with PSR leading the way without the fastest lap, Botch Gerbil needs to be 6th. In fact, saying that, taking that into account, the fact that people around him have penalties.
You could actually jump that, and yeah.
Technically speaking, Botch Gerbil would finish 6th. Botch Gerbil would actually be Drivers' Champion on account of the fact that MC Decoder and Fairmoto have penalties.
However,
fastest lap
seeing as
at the moment is with Botch Gerbil, so he would have got it anyway.
So seeing as I enjoy giving myself job titles that I don't actually have, I'm going to become race director tonight, and I'm going to say that everyone between Harry and Botch Gerbil has to move out of the way, and this is the thing I was going to come in.
Michael Massey, calm down. Calm down, Michael Massey.
Moto, we are motor racing.
We are still under safety car conditions here in Mexico. This is your season 13 finale in the Invictus Racing League Xbox F1 division, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver 61 and gridfinder.com. It is Kieran Wright and Dom Owens on commentary for this finale. I can tell you guys that after the race, once we have finished the podium interviews and the podium places have left the party, we will be bringing Mr. Andrew Gatton in with us, and we will just have a little chat about Invictus and obviously our thoughts on the very, very unfortunate news that following this race, the Xbox division here in Invictus will be closing its doors. It's not an ideal situation, but unfortunately these things do happen. And we do hope that there is hopefully some light and we can get an interested party to get involved with things as well. And hopefully take over the running of IRL Xbox, but at the moment it doesn't look to be the case. But more on that later on. It is PSR Harry that does lead the way at the moment as things stand, with current positions and penalties being taken into account. Botch Gerbil will be crowned your Drivers' Champion should the race finish now. He will win the championship by a couple of points from PSR Harry. But I think Joey has just caught up to the back of the pack. He has indeed. So 11 cars left in this race. We have lost IRL Matt, the birthday boy, and DCRS Smates. So we should be getting ready to go racing once again here in Mexico. We're just waiting for Bernd Mailander to turn off those lights on the top of his safety car, which is exactly what he has done now.
Jinxing it, mate. Jinxing it.
There. We're also in chat there showing some support to his teammate. Harry will now pace the field in Sector 3. When does Harry go? That is the question.
Realistically, he should go, and I'll tell you when he should go.
Bottas this, surely. Go pretty much as close to the line as you can, so
he
he
wants
doesn't
to
get
go
caught
now.
out by... That's exactly what he's done. That is exactly what he has done, Dom. But C-Russ has been able to catch it as well. C-Russ very, very good there. Wherewithal, knew the situation around him and stuck with him. I don't think there's anyone that's been caught out, really. Fairmoto is trying to line up a move on Coda. Not going to make the move just yet, though. And I'm calling it now. Michael Massey, can we please have the checkered flag now? Nathan HRX is on the podium.
Yeah, I at this point, I don't care what the championship states. I want that podium for him, and he's just been...
Ewan, no! Give it back to him!
Give it back to him! Something. Just give him the position.
I've never wanted to support someone so much in my life. We're supposed to be impartial as commentators, but I really want Nathan to get this podium.
Well, I mean, you can still have... I mean, look at the BBC. Or Sky Sports F1, should I say. You know, let's be honest. If there was anyone that was a fanboy, it's them.
Oh, Nathan's picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. Goes very, very wide there into the first part of the stadium section. They're still side by side as MC Dakota and Nathan HRX. Dakota does get that move done on Nathan, though.
Oh, we have an interval change.
Yeah. Some Pikachu has just come into the lobby as Ewan makes the move on C-Russ. 1.2 seconds the gap between Liverpool Ewan and PSR Harry. Following that safety car restart. It's a very, very good restart by PSR Harry, to be fair, to line up a move there on Liverpool Ewan, but decided against it at that moment in time. We're going to have a quick look at the gap to leader. The gap to the leader at the moment for Bots Gerbil is 4.3 seconds.
Yeah, if you go on board with, I'd say even Son Pikachu, you can see the leader turning the corner.
Just shows that the whole field is currently separated by 6.5 seconds. It just shows how close the racing here is in Invictus. C-Russ now picks up a time penalty as well in the S's. PSR Harry does lead the way, but Ewan's starting to come back at him now. I'm wondering whether Harry's starting to feel that tyre wear a little bit. For those on the softs, so the only person we've got left on the softs is Harry, Dom. When is your optimum pit strategy time?
Well, I mean, previously it was under the safety car, as soon as the safety car was called, but now, do you know what? It's been a minute as the DRS has been enabled this lap, but Ewan is just too far behind to get it. And C-Russ is also too far behind to get it. But
you won't get it
they'll be able to get it. They'll be able to get it out in Sector 2 bridge. So if Ewan can, as Ewan picks up a 3-second time penalty as well, this race really is about not picking up penalties.
So just have a quick look at Mike, and the two
stop I'm looking at
is 9 to 11 for a second set of softs, and then go to
so
lap
he should be coming in this
for
lap.
mediums. So we should theoretically for Harry to come in as Vinny Cousin has had a bit of a moment. He is now back to the rear of the field. 10 members of the IRL family watching the stream. Good evening, everybody. Hope you are all well. This is your season 13 finale. Let's go. Yes, Harry does lead the way for the Haas team and is doing everything within his power to try and win this race and put as much pressure as he can on Botched.
Look at that front left. It is screaming at him, and Liverpool Ewan has got the DRS. And okay, like I said, the air is thin here, so he's not going to get as much overspeed as he thinks he's going to get. He's going to get enough to get the move made, but it's not as powerful as some tracks like Russia, for instance, where it is really, really powerful. As Liverpool Ewan goes really deep into turn 1 for that Mac, keeps it nice and tight through turn 2, nice and tight through turn 3, but unless he's got the DRS, obviously he's got the DRS, but unless he's got enough in him to defend, he does. he's now got about a lap's worth of defending to do before it all starts again. Or, based on the front left and the rear left on PSR Harry, this is time for him to stop.
We shall see what happens. As I think someone's just come in to try and post a link, and they've been very quickly yeeted from the stream by Nightbot. God, I love that bot. Fermoto picks up another 3-second time penalty now. Is Harry going to come into the pits?
It's got to. That front left is screaming at him. I'm trying to see what it's saying on his
Coming in? No.
Not giving me a
He's
time
not coming in.
attempt, but
He's not coming in.
oh, I see another issue here as well.
What's that, Dom?
If you look at the dash on the Haas of PSR Harry, there is an unfortunate. Hang on, let me wait for him to get back on straight again. +8 laps of fuel. The difference on the Alpha Tauri is +1.5.
Means that Harry has significantly more fuel than Ewan does, meaning Harry's car is a lot heavier.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, 1 litre of fuel, 1 lap of fuel is 4 kilograms. No, 3 laps of fuel is 4 kilos, which therefore makes...
Ooh, Ewan!
That's 6 seconds.
That's something you don't see very often from Liverpool Ewan. He's picked up 2 this race. I'm wondering whether Harry is trying to push another couple of laps because of that safety car. I'm wondering whether it's going to be
He really
this lap
shouldn't.
or
He
next
has to
lap.
come in.
Staying
Look at the
out
graining on the
still.
tyres.
Still staying out, so there's obviously some sort of master plan there with PSR Harry, but what is that going to be? You can see that the tyre wear really is affecting Harry here. Cirrus has lost 2 positions in very, very quick succession. The Fermoto and Bots Gerbil down into P6 now is Cirrus. There's a little bit of contact between Gerbil and Fermoto, and Gerbil and Cirrus.
And Cirrus and Lukey do.
Contact everywhere in the midfield. I don't think anyone's been severely damaged by it, so it's nothing horrific. 6 tenths is that gap, 7 tenths of the gap now between Liverpool Ewan and PSR Harry at the front of the pack.
Increasing rapidly, 1 second. DRS. He does have the DRS. It's not open though.
He did get the DRS. He chose not to use it. So I'm wondering whether that means that Harry is now going to come into the pits. Because surely, if you're looking to try and catch up to Ewan at that point, you would use your DRS.
I think what he done is he allowed MCD Coder to pull himself in a little bit, get the DRS from him. Yeah,
Harry
he's
does come in.
It'll allow MCD Coder to push towards Liverpool Ewan now, as they have the same age tyres.
And Gerbil will pass Harry. But now all the work for Harry. If he wants to get this race win, he needs to botch Gerbil and put about 3 or 4 cars in between them. As Fermoto is saving that ERS. They're side by side. Gerbil and Fermoto still through the S's side by side. Gerbil is going to get the DRS on Fermoto. And with the DRS assist, he is going to get past that McLaren. It was very, very close between those two, though. And this battle is opening up the door for Cirrus and Lakido to try and catch back up to the back of this little battle here between Botched Gerbil and Fermoto. PSR Harry has come back out in 11th place. So a lot of work for Harry to do now. Because he's got to pass pretty much everybody in the field and try and get himself a fastest lap in the process to prevent the man we've currently got on screen, Botched Gerbil, from being crowned Drivers' Champion here in the final season. Oh, that's not going to help his race in any way, shape or form. Trying to catch up to the back of the pack. He's caught up to Joey quite quickly, but he has now picked up a time penalty as well, which is not going to help his race. 9 seconds and some Pikachu as Smates now leaves the session. having retired earlier on in the race. I'll jump up to Lakido if it's going to let me move up to him. Still trying to catch up to Siros.
Back when Firmoto pulled in behind BotchGibble, who BotchGibble's got next to no ERS left, and neither does Firmoto. The gaps between them must have been 0.5 of a second. So to pull in at that point is some really good judgment. Maybe luck more than judgment, but it's now a fight between what I can tell, three or four drivers that don't actually have that much ERS. In fact, they all seem very similar.
Keep an eye on these battles. Also keeping an eye on PSR Harry at the same time. You can see he is very quickly reining in Sun Pikachu. That gap was 9 seconds when he first made that move on Joey. It's now 6.7. PSR Harry is a man on a mission, trying to get himself up to the head of this pack once again to prevent this man on stream from getting that Drivers' Championship. And he's got past Fairmoto, has BotchGibble. That is BotchGibble up into 3rd place. And there is the fastest lap from PSR Harry. So he can keep that, but he needs to get himself up past BotchGibble. And he needs other cars to work with him here, because he needs BotchGibble to finish outside the top 5.
Siros, Nathan, and that's it actually now, are the 2 drivers that realistically should have pitted last lap, may pit this lap. So keep an eye on those 2. As Siros could just about let Lukido go and give him a nice bit of clean air with the DRS to go down the main straight with. However, that does mean that 2 sets of softs are on the menu now for someone like Siros. So he does have the ability to have that comfort that the soft runners had at the start of the race that he didn't, because he opted for the 3-second time penalty out of that corner. But he opted for,
Siros does not come in.
Distance.
Nathan does not come in. Neither driver is coming just yet, Dom. They're looking to go that a little bit longer.
As Lukido passes Siros with ease with the DRS.
That's indeed Vinny Cousin. Is he looking to try and put Sun Pikachu under pressure? He's not going to be close enough to Sun Pikachu just yet in that Aston Martin. You can see just how quick PSR Harry has been since passing Joey and putting those fresh medium tyres. You have to remember, guys, that 2 laps ago that gap was 9 seconds. It is now 2.7, 2.6, and it's still coming down. PSR Harry is a man on action. He knows he needs to get himself up to that business end of the field. As Vinny now picks up a 3-second time penalty. Only
2 drivers without.
Indeed, the only 2 cars not to have penalties at the moment are BotchGibble and Lakido. See Harry, he's got Vinny Cousin in his sights now. Can he get within a second of Vinny Cousin? He can't yet. And all importantly, Vinny has not got himself within a second of Sun Pikachu, so he could be viable too. It won't be with DRS, it will just be on flat, pure straight line speed, but of course, Harry is on those medium tyres, whereas Vinny is on those hard stuff.
Yeah, he is, and I did PSR Harry use some ERS weight just to get that, just to bridge the gap with his not much power. Because I mean, I said it previously in previous streams, as the sun starts to come out, and boy oh boy, is that going to cause some issues for those on 17 lap old mediums. Yeah, you know, they've got a lot of power low end. They've got 1,000 brake horsepower. Plus the 250 out of the battery, but they've also got a ridiculous amount of torque, but it all comes immediately. There's nothing really at the top end, so you need something to bridge the power gap right at the very end, and that's where that extra 250 brake comes in, to allow you to just say, pass them slightly easier.
Indeed. PSR Harry not going to have to worry too much about being within a second of Vinny Cutting now. If he can see that rear wing of the Mercedes, he's going to pretty much pull alongside him before the DRS is even deployed. Now with that rear wing open, it is going to be an easy move for PSR Harry. That moves him up into P9. 2.3 seconds the gap between himself and Sun Pikachu. You can see Sun Pikachu ahead of him now on track as Joey comes into the pits, gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that is going to be Joey's race over. He does retire from the session. So at worst now, Bots Gerbil will get a point. Should something catastrophic happen, Bots Gerbil will get at least a point. Which
See Russ and Nathan HRX through the S's. When you're trying to conserve fuel, which these boys don't want to at this point, there's already been a safety car.
Ooh, Ewan comes in. Bots Gerbil is staying out for now.
Mad.
Another set of mediums for Livingwall.
Russ finally comes in.
So that is going to be Ewan until the end of the race.
Nathan stays out.
No, Nathan stays out. So Nathan must be feeling a little bit more comfortable on those tyres.
I mean, I'm looking at them
have a look.
They don't look good.
Ewan has got out ahead of PSR Harry. That is not what PSR Harry wants. In fact, actually thinking about it, that could work perfectly for PSR Harry. The fact that he's got Liverpool Ewan just ahead of him. Granted, yes, Ewan is fresh medium tyres. But it could work in Harry's favour because Ewan could, theoretically, pull Harry along to the front of the pack.
I mean, look what he's just done with some Pikachu. That battle has cost PSR Harry big time. Because he's now stuck in the dirty area of Pikachu. And it's harder when it's only you on the track. You could be the only guy and still manage to spin. So the dirty air as well. I mean, like I was about to say just now, before I think I got sidetracked, was you know, I mentioned earlier that Harry has a lot of fuel, and lifting and coasting is not what you want to be doing if you've got too much fuel. As Harry makes some Pikachu look like child's play.
It didn't look like he wasn't even there, is I think what most people would say. Now, you mentioned him earlier on, Dom, the best defensive driver in Invictus, Nathan HRX, is next up for PSR Harry. He's going to go on the inside. What a move by Harry! And he is going to make that move stick as well. Some Pikachu goes very, very wide. Some Pikachu's out.
That could be a safety car.
That is a safety car. We have another safety car. Surely now the lead is pit. MC Coda is in the stadium section. Bots Gerbil just entering the stadium section now. Surely they come in. If you're Harry, do you come in now?
Everyone should pit here. Cirrus
picks up a drive-through, and Luckido has picked up a 5-second penalty for a collision. Coda in, Gerbil in, Fairmoto in. Liverpool Ewan has only just come out. So
he gets a nice track position.
Liverpool Ewan is going to stay out on track. MC Coda is going to get back out into the lead. PSR Harry has come into the pits. Everyone pits. Fem on softs, Dom. Harry on softs. Nathan on softs. Gerbil has stayed on mediums.
I can't. I really can't. I don't know what to do. I don't know what they do. I don't know what I do. 11 laps maximum is what you reckon. It was what you reckon the softs can do. It's been proven by Harry that you can do more, but they're not comfortable, to be fair. I mean,
Dom really doesn't know what to think of this situation at the moment. But with those retirements of some Pikachu and Searas, the worst position that Botch Gerbil can now finish is 8th. For 8th place here in Invictus, you score 3 points. That will move Botch Gerbil onto 145 points, meaning he will be 14 points ahead of PSR Harry. Just going to confirm that Harry does still have the fastest lap. Harry does still have the fastest lap. Harry needs to win this race. If Botch Gerbil drops down to 8th, Harry has to win this race if he wants to be crowned Drivers' Champion. We have got 13 laps left next time round. The field is probably going to bunch up by the end of this lap, we hope. If Bert Mylandos drives slowly enough to give Luckido the chance to catch up. But, Dom, if you're Harry, in fact, no, if you're Gerbil, you're 3rd. You are one of 2 cars to not have a penalty. You know that PSR Harry needs to pass you and hope that you fall down the order. Do you just become a rolling roadblock?
he may not be in the Alp, but he's going to need Alplan. Yeah, you need to be. I mean, he needs to become the next Fernando Alonso. Call a track, Hungary, Britain. Safety car is in this lap.
Koda will lead in Sector 3. Go on, Dom.
Botch Gerbil is really good at judging when people go as well. I mean, if he gets a pretty good restart, you could have MCD Koda and Liverpool Ewan in one.
When does Koda go? When does he go?
He's got to. He's not. He's going to Bottas this.
He's going to Bottas this.
He's got
just before the line he goes. This could open the door for Harry to make a move here. We're going to jump back to Harry. Can he make a move on Ewan just yet? He is obviously around people with the same sort of tyres as him.
Everyone with the ERS deployment at max.
Making moves early.
And there's been contact! Oh, he's just been able to keep it. Harry and Firmoto went side by side. You hear a touch. Harry went to slightly wider, and it looked like he was about to lose it.
Oh,
and
contact again! Harry has forced his way through Firmoto. And now, the battle that everyone wants. PSR Harry, Botch Gerbil, on track battle. Harry needs to get past Gerbil now. It's the easiest way of putting it. He needs to get past Botch Gerbil before DRS is activated. And not only does he need to do that, he needs to bridge a gap so that Botch Gerbil does not get DRS. That is the only way that PSR Harry is going to be able to try and get himself into a position where he could potentially win this Drivers' Championship. He's going to try and just stick in that slipstream of Botch Gerbil. If he's going to make the move, he needs to make it on this straight. They are side by side, your top two in the Drivers' Championship. Harry does just get ahead of Botch Gerbil. Is he going to be able to keep the position? He does keep the position. PSR Harry has got past Botch Gerbil and is pulling away. This is what he needs to do, but he needs drivers behind him to help him out and get past Botch Gerbil too. There are 12 laps to go. Can he do it, Dom?
it's anyone's call at this point. You can say yes, and you might not, and Lukido or Luckido or Lukido, whoever you want to call him, picks up a penalty, meaning Gerbil is the only person on track without a penalty. This could change the dynamic of the season, and it could change the dynamic of Invictus Racing altogether.
Because we both know how strong Box Gerbil is at looking after his car in terms of limits and not those penalties.
I am going to be the smart boy here.
DRS is about to be enabled. No one will get it yet. Gone even faster. He has done the bare minimum that he needs to do now. He is
He's got 6%, 5%, 4%, ERS 3%, 2%, 1%. He's not got any ERS left in that battery.
He's got Liverpool Ewan though. He's up to second with a fastest lap. At the moment, he needs to ensure that Botched Gerbil finishes. Well, in fact, no, this is not enough for PSR Harry. Because if Botched Gerbil does, for whatever reason, drop down to 8th, Botched Gerbil will still win the Drivers' Championship. PSR Harry needs to pass MCD Coda. He has to get past Coda. The gap between Liverpool Ewan and Botched Gerbil is over a second. Botched Gerbil will not have DRS on Ewan, but Fairmoto will have DRS on Botched Gerbil, and he's on soft tyres. This is the battle everyone wanted to see. Last season, we had Singapore. Dom and I were on commentary. Harry's got a penalty! And Harry, oh, Nathan's picked up one as well. Harry's gone even faster though. He is going to get that move on MCD Coda. He's got a DRS. He's going to make that move now. We need to jump down to Fairmoto. Is he going to get Gerbil? He's going to get Botched Gerbil as well. But at the moment, it's still fine for Gerbil. 5th place, as it stands, is enough for Botched Gerbil with Harry where he is. You have to remember though, guys, we have got to take penalties into consideration.
12 seconds ahead, 3 ahead of that, 6 and 6 ahead of that as well.
The penalty situation at the moment is favourable for Botched Gerbil. But he has to be aware that the 2 cars behind him, Lukido and Nathan HRX, are both on soft tyres. So he could potentially lose a couple more positions because the cars around him are on the faster tyre. PSR Harry.
Well, Gerbil has DRS.
Yeah, he would have got it off Fairmoto. Just. Literally just. But PSR Harry needs to do exactly what he's doing and pull away from Liverpool Ewan. He has got a 1.2 second gap. Liverpool Ewan will not have DRS and is going to come under pressure from MCD Coda. There is the DRS. Rear wing flap opened by MCD Coda. He's not close enough to Liverpool Ewan to make a move yet. Just see the straight line speed of that Alpha Tauri able to stick with the Haas of PSR Harry. At the moment, as we say, everything is looking right as rain for Botched Gerbil. We have 9 laps to go in the Invictus Racing League Xbox F1 division. Brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver 61 and gridfinder.com. PSR Harry currently second in the Drivers' Championship, doing everything he has to do to try and stay in with a chance of winning this Drivers' Championship. But the man we've currently got on screen, the only driver on track without penalties, the current championship leader, Botched Gerbil, is in a position where he will get the Drivers' Championship.
How can you watch? How can anyone watch?
And that no, Dominic, is in reply to your WhatsApp. I will be.
How can anyone watch this?
How can you not watch this? MCD Coda's going to look.
This. Do you know what this is feels like?
Now. There is Goose. Mr. Andrew Gatton is in the chat. Hope you are watching this, Andrew. Hopefully you're enjoying this, bro. Because I may need you at the end of the stream to outro this, because I might not be able to speak. I'm not going to lie, Anthony Coda's looking up for a move. Going to land up a move on Liverpool Ewan now. He's going to have the inside of Liverpool Ewan. He has got that position done. And he holds on to it. Has held on to that position. But Liverpool Ewan's going to come back at Anthony Coda now. The inside of the double right-hander. Oh my gosh. Runs Coda wide and gets that position back. Fairmoto now putting Anthony Coda under pressure. And just behind them you see Botch Gerbil. Botch Gerbil is just going to try and stick with Fairmoto as best as he can. Stick with those around him. I'm going to be evil. I'm not going to show penalties because I want it to be a surprise. But
it's too hard.
PSR Harry is doing everything he needs to do.
Do not want to throw a spanner in the works.
As it stands,
a late safety car with no DRS.
will finish with 147 points. Botched, with that in mind, has to finish 5th, which is exactly where he is. And he's got DRS to try and stick to the back of Fairmoto and MCD Coda. What were you going to say, Dom?
In fact, something I did check, just out of curiosity. Botch Gerbil only has 2 warnings, which is 1 away from a penalty. And to make matters even easier for Gerbil, I think Nathan HRX is on his side. He is causing a massive ruckus at the back for him and Lakido, and really parking that Alpine on the A corner.
I mean, it is something that you and I commented on earlier. Nathan's run very, very though in the S's, and he has lost that position to Lakido now. But HRX, one of the best defensive drivers in Invictus this season, as Fairmoto has made the move on Emma. And this battle has opened the Botch Gerbil to be able to catch back up to the back of this pack. He will now have DRS. 6 laps to go here in Invictus. PSR Harry leads the way. Nathan is coming to the pits, potentially for another set of soft tyres. Looking to try and maybe get involved with the fastest lap situation. And a new front wing. So that would be why Lakido has been able to make that move. And why Nathan ran wide in the S's. You can see Botch Gerbil still trying to get that move done on Coda. Coda's going to make a move on Fairmoto. Is he going to go for it? He backs out at the final second. The final dying. He backs out of that move.
Fairmoto and PSR Harry very close to the danger zone.
Ewan picks up another penalty. Ewan has picked up another 3-second time penalty. That is not going to help his situation. 3 seconds the gap between Harry and Liverpool Ewan at the moment. Harry has done everything he needs to do to try and win this championship. But it's just the drivers around him and the fact that he's got penalties of his own that could let him down, could be his undoing. And it could this man on screen to be crowned last Invictus Racing League Drivers Champion, at least for now. Is MTD Coda going to like the move on Fairmoto? He's not just yet, but Fairmoto has run out of ERS. He's harvesting that, signified by the flashing red light. It means that he is under 15% ERS. And he's going to go move for the inside. Now a Fairmoto, they're battling with one another. They're still there. Coda's still there. Fairmoto to get the inside line for the double right hand up. Look for the swing, but he couldn't get it. Coda stays behind Fairmoto, and this is opening the door for Botch Gerbil. Is he on Coda now? Through the S's, they are one behind the other, single file through these S's. There's a DRS open for Coda. DRS also open for Botched Gerbil. Not able to make. PSR Harry is pulling away from Liverpool Ewan. But surely these tyres are going to be coming towards Fairmoto now picks up another 3-second time penalty. That's not his race either. But surely, Dom, these softs are coming towards the end of their life now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said previously, 9 laps is, when the earliest you pit softs, and they're going to be limits on them. They're already on 10 laps. As MC Dakota looks to get past their motor into turn 1, again through turn 2, side by side, no incident there, that is clean. And do you know what? This is up to the Watch Jibble, who does have the DRS on firm moto and the ERS advantage. Is he going to get moved on into the turn 4? He does. Ooh, wait.
Nathan
no,
has just thrown a spanner in the works. Nathan has thrown a spanner in the works and has taken the fastest lap away from him. As it stands now, Gerbil only needs to finish 6th. And he's currently 4th. He's doing more than he needs to do to win this Drivers' Championship here in Mexico. Harry needs to pull out the lap of a lifetime, but with 10 lap old softs, I don't think it's going to be possible, Dom.
I mean, we saw in qualifying Liverpool Ewan do exactly what he needed to do on 3 lap old softs. It might not be as easy, but it's possible. It is possible. Bono, my tyres are gone is all Harry needs to scream.
Bono, my tyres are gone is exactly what Harry's probably screaming to his race engineer. I'll be honest, looking at Harry's tyres, they're not looking anywhere near as bad as they were first time.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you yet without a decent amount of shade, and I think the only time I'm going to get that is in stadium. I almost said Cast, and then remembered that's Baku.
It's definitely not here, bro.
Oh no, that front left is screaming. In fact, that front left is quite rotten, if anything.
We shall
In
see
fact, the gap is starting to close.
2.5 laps to go here in Invictus Racing League Xbox F1 Season 13, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver 61 and gridfinder.com. PSR Harry knew he had to win this race, ideally with a fastest lap. He's got the win at the moment, but he has not got that fastest lap anymore. He needs the cars behind him to do him a favour as Fairmoto comes into the pits now. Potentially for a set of soft tyres. 2 laps to go. Fairmoto's going to look to try and get involved in the fastest lap battle now. But Dom did make a good point. That gap did look to be closing. Gerbil not able to make the move just yet on Coda. But as it stands, Bots Gerbil will have a podium place here in Mexico. So as it stands, we will be speaking, regardless of where either of these 2 drivers that are battling for the championship finish, we will speak to the World Drivers' Champion at the end of this race. But is it going to be the Canadian or is it going to be the Englishman? As it stands right now, it is going to be this man on screen, the Canadian Botched Gerbil. We are on the final lap of Season 13. It is PSR Harry leading the way at the moment. 3.2 seconds the gap between himself and Liverpool Ewan. 2.8 seconds further back is MCD Coda. And less than 3/10 back is Bots Gerbil. Is he going to get 3rd place on track and not need the penalties to get him further up? Not just yet. But he's 2nd run now, and he's going to get a much better run on MCD Coda. He is going to make that move now on MCD Coda. Bots Gerbil gets himself onto the podium here in Mexico. PSR Harry has done everything that he needed to do to try and put that pressure on Botched Gerbil as Ewan picks up another 3-second time penalty. He did everything within his power. He got dizzied at the race start, dropped down to 9th, has fought his way back up to the head of the field. PSR Harry is going to cross the line in just a second. Crosses the line in 1st place, but the man on screen now, the Canadian Botch Gerbil is your race winner and your season 13 drivers champion. PSR Harry in second, MCD Coda third, Liverpool Ewan in fourth, Lukey Doo fifth, Vinny Cousin in sixth place. Fairmoto crosses the line with the fastest lap to finish in seventh place. Nathan HRX now rounding the final corner to take that final position of 8th place. Your thoughts, Dom?
I can't. My brain is like TV static. Or scrambled egg. Oh, good God. Oh.
Dom is
the Drivers'
getting
Championship,
the
he's been
podium
chasing this for some time. He has been
into
chasing
podium.
this.
He has indeed, but he has got exactly what he wanted. Now, your race winner and new Invictus Racing League Drivers' Champion, Botched Gerbil, wins the race. PSR Harry in second, MCD Coda rounds out your podium in third place. Liverpool Ewan in fourth, Lakido in fifth, Vinny Cousin sixth, Fairmoto in seventh, Nathan HRX in eighth, the last of the finishers. Cirrus, Sun Pikachu, Joey, DCRS Mates, and IRL Max on his birthday, unable to finish this evening. We have now been joined by all three of the gentlemen who have finished on the podium. And for one final time, I hand over to Dom Owens for the podium interviews. Over to you, Dom.
Thank you, Kieran. What a race that was. MCD Coda. Just going to make sure you guys have included your audio. Just to start with. That would be grateful. Thank you very much. MCD Coda. Congratulations on the podium, man.
Thanks. Thank you.
I mean, you did your best. If you were Team Harry, you did your best on making sure that Botch Gerbil didn't get that position. But unfortunately, it was the final lap and he just managed to get it. Obviously, the permutation was, if Harry finished first with fastest lap, Botch Gerbil had to finish fifth. He finished first on track, he didn't have the fastest lap, but he did manage to finish first. Obviously, that's not why you're here. You're here because you're on the podium. You finished third. You started third. Tell us how your race went.
I think, but I think on the second safety car, I think I made the wrong strategy call going on to mediums again. I think I should have been softs, but oh well. I'm happy with third.
Well, I mean, you said there were two safety cars. I mean, obviously, safety car number one was quite early on. Did you think that was going to have any actual impact on the race? Obviously, it brought some drivers back into contention that were previously kicked. But did you think that it was like, oh yeah, okay, it's just a fresh restart, we go again?
To be honest with you, I can't even remember what I was thinking at that point. So, all I did was I came into the pits because the mediums can last like 16 laps plus, so and we were already on lap 4, so yeah, it was pretty easy to take them to the end.
Well, I mean, you've had a great season so far. It's probably not been the easiest season so far to date, but you've done well. I mean, almost Max Verstappen it into turn 1, but it just wasn't to be tonight, unfortunately. Any thoughts? Obviously, anything you want to say to the two that were fighting for the championship tonight?
I mean, congrats to both of them for being like the best all season. apart from that, anything tonight, I don't really know if they battled at all. I mean, I know Botch Terrible battled me, but yeah, apart from that, I don't really know how the races went. But they've had great seasons. I'm sure if Harry turned up to more races, it would have been even tighter.
Well, it's not been the easiest season for anyone in Invictus this season, especially with the more recent news. But thank you for turning up on the final race with that in mind, and congratulations on the podium.
Thank you.
Yes, Harry.
Hello.
Obviously, I've seen the image you put in the chat. I'm not too sure if he did manage to close that gap 3/10 in the end. Obviously, he'll be able to tell us. But unfortunately, I'm taking what it says on the screen right now. You started second, you finished second.
Yep.
You did everything you could.
Yeah.
You finished first on track. You did everything you possibly could to win the title tonight. Botch Gerbil was just right up there with... I mean, this season's best of the best, the two of you. Just tell us how your race went and how you're feeling about everything.
Well, obviously I came into it a bit handicapped because my controller's a bit buggered, but obviously started off not in the game, which put me on a back foot. I was like 10th. I came to the race, yeah, obviously like 10th. I was hit. Someone's obviously still thinks I'm not there, and I've been smacked by someone and given wing damage, which I didn't realise till I pit. So that's that. I was getting warnings I didn't realise I was getting because I didn't have my game's glitched. I was very surprised it wasn't a restart. Yeah, so I was getting warnings which I didn't realise I was getting. I had no idea a safety car had come out. I was a bit messed up for strategy wise. The last safety car sort of helped, so I put softs on and then did what I had to do. But yeah, it was kind of a bit of a shambles. But I was very surprised it wasn't a restart, to be honest.
Well, unfortunately, the restart wasn't to be. Obviously, I think mathematically you turned up to 2/3 of the season.
Yeah, I missed 5. I missed 5, but one of them, Botch Trouble, wasn't there either, so technically like 4. Yeah, what were you about to say? Yeah.
If both of you had turned up to every race, you would currently be sat as the drivers' champion.
I mean, I'd like to say I would. I mean, I back myself, but then again, you don't really know what happens. I could have, I could have DNF'd all those races and then or won one, and the one that we both were missing, then Bosch could have won. So I mean, you don't really know, but I'd like to say I could have done it, but obviously can't do a lot now, can I?
Unfortunately not. I mean, you turned up this season. You've done a great racing season for everyone to watch. You finished on the podium. If I'm not mistaken, every single race you've completed. So massive congratulations to you there.
Cheers, yeah. Well done to Bosch Gerbil. I haven't said that, but yeah. I mean, I will be taking my first back in that race. But yeah, he's fair play for him winning the championship. Not too much I could do, but I put up a decent fight with what I could. So yeah, well done to him.
Unlucky tonight, with the whole permutations looking the way they were, and Fairmoto boxing on the second to last lap, I think it was, for a set of softs so that he could take the fastest lap just from you. Previously, Nathan HRX had it before him, so that was unfortunate as well. But congratulations tonight. A podium's a podium,
Yeah,
and a podium streak is a podium streak.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my first. I'm whacking it in the stewards. Tell you what I can.
See what they say. No harm, no foul. Bosch Gerbil.
Hello.
I mean, congratulations, you started 4th. Currently, before the timing glitch gets fixed, you finished first. Not just that, not just taking the race win so far in the final race of the season, but you are the Invictus Racing League Xbox Drivers Champion. How does that sound?
Oh, it was pretty good. Couldn't ask for better competition this season. I gotta congratulate PSR Harry, Liverpool Elon, especially Fairmoto that race. He really pushed all of us, and PSR Harry is definitely, I think, a couple links above me, but because he missed a couple races, I was able to just keep my consistency strong. Race didn't start good, I'll tell you that. Getting spun out turn 1 last place, I was like really down in the dumps, but I was able to pull through the rest of the race and just keep it clean and not get a penalty, which really helped me out in the end.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I checked at one point. You had 2 track limit warnings. Were you worried about picking up a third and it costing you?
After the second warning, and I saw how many people had so many time penalties around me, I really pulled off my pace, and I just kind of sat behind them a long time. Really didn't want to pass MCD Coda on the last lap, but I just went for it anyways, and just wanted to keep it clean and not really get in anyone's way, so I just stuck behind them and did what I needed to do.
Well, it was enough to get you the championship, and not just the Drivers' Championship, but obviously you and Raza had successfully managed to cap off the Constructors some time ago. I think it was at the end of Spain, I believe, that you managed to pull that off. Double champion. You took it from Liverpool Ewan this season. Last season he was a Renault driver. Him and DJ Danny took the Constructors. He took the drivers. Obviously, this season he was just as competitive as him. You know, he was a great driver, but he's better. Obviously, just looking back on the season, we'll do a quick season recap. He fought valiantly in every race. Is there anything you would have changed?
Maybe my strategy at, I think it was Britain. Me and Liverpool Elon missed the safety car pit, I think if I'm remembering correctly, and I think I finished 9th that race or something like that. It's the only race I'd really change. Season went really well for me, so. And yeah, I was able to get at least a couple race wins in there, which I'm happy about.
Well, we all do enjoy a win. I'm sure Kieran has a question for you. I'm almost certain he will. And I'm almost certain that Goose will have a question as well. So from me, massive congratulations to all 3 of you guys. Massive congratulations to you, Botch Gerbil, for the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors as well. And thank you all for racing. It has been a brilliant season. As much as we would love to continue, right now there's just nothing we can do, and you gave us a brilliant final send-off season.
Yeah, thank you. I also wanted to add thank you to all IRL, all the people involved. You know, this is the last season, but I've been with them 3 seasons now, and it's one of the best leagues, organized leagues I've ever been a part of, and really sad that we're not going to be racing next season, but yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone for their dedication throughout the last 2 years I've been racing with everyone.
Yeah, now to Goose, if you've got anything to add or question.
So what I'll quickly do before Andrew does say anything, we have now been joined by Mr. Andrew Gatton. We did say that we were going to have a special guest towards the end of the stream. That, of course, is Mr. Andrew Gatton, the 3rd of 4 Xbox commentators for Invictus. So, firstly, good evening, Andrew.
Good evening.
And is there anything you want to say to our Drivers' Champion, Mr. Botch Gerbil?
Well, I mean, I could make the very funny comment, and how does it feel to be the first Drivers' Championship champion from Canada since Mr. Jackie Villeneuve, but I think we've all said that in our heads. Either way, I just wanted to just congratulate you personally, myself, for just an absolutely phenomenal season. You give us something to hold on to and continue watching, even when it was through some of the darkest moments in Formula One. You definitely gave us something to watch, and personally for myself, I just wanted to say thank you for letting me be a part of that, I guess. And yeah, I think Mr. Kieran wanted me to say a few words about Invictus, so I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet, but we know how that goes. Invictus, for me, was my very first commentary job, and it's really helped me to understand how to work through real life issues in a game, and also vice versa. And I think also as well, I've met some of my best mates commentating here and in general, and just being part of such a vast community of super nice guys and girls, and just in general, just everyone's down to earth, everyone knows each other, and people are really respectful of each other's abilities. And that is the one thing that I'll always hold dearly, is that no matter what, Invictus will always have a place in my heart, and it will always have a place in, I'm sure, Kieran and Dom's and Matty's heart as well. It's just been truly awesome to be around so many fantastic people with the same like-mindedness as me. And yeah, it was definitely something. And the last thing I want to say as well is just want to say a big, massive thank you to Keith Fermoto for doing so well with the organisation and trying to keep everybody in line. As well as that, also, you do have everybody else behind the scenes that does everything, like IRL Mats, Jamie 29et, I think it's Nathan HRX as well. I mean, everybody. I think he's done a bit behind the scenes as well for Invictus this season, and I think if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. And I just want to say thank you to them for giving me that opportunity. Thank you.
Indeed, thank you, Andrew. So yeah, unfortunately, we will be ending tonight's broadcast in a slightly somber mood, as Dom did mention it earlier, and I do have the very unfortunate job of officially announcing that this is provisionally the final race for IRL Xbox. Unfortunately, real-life factors are preventing Fermoto from being able to commit to the running of IRL Xbox post-Season 13. 3 offers have been made to IRL in an attempt to continue the running of the league, but for whatever reason, these have fallen short and terms haven't been agreed. I have got a statement from Matty, but before that, I'm going to just mention a little thing. Andrew just sort of commented on it as well. Without IRL, we would never have met. So thank you to IRL for enabling Dom and I to meet Andrew and Matty, because we've gone from being colleagues in IRL to being extremely good friends, and for that we are eternally grateful. The statement that I have received from Matty, unfortunately he's stuck at work today, so he's not able to join us this evening, but Matty's statement is: I may have been late to the party, but it has still been incredible commentating on Invictus. The races have been quality and always entertaining, but it's even more than that. I've met 2 amazing friends for life and 1 person I tolerate. That's a joke, but in all seriousness, thank you for giving me the chance to commentate and also allowing me to meet some amazing people that have led to amazing friendships and allowing me to develop a true, real passion for F1 and making my Tuesdays more interesting. Good luck to all drivers and everyone involved in IRL in their future races and leagues. So that is from Matty Valender, the 4th piece of the Invictus comms team puzzle. Unfortunately, as I say, stuck at work, so it did jump a little message, or did chuck a little message over to me that he wanted me to mention out on stream. But before I officially end IRL Xbox Season 13, I'd just like to say on behalf of the IRL Xbox comms team, a massive, massive thank you. Firstly to Craig for allowing us to work with IRL. For those who don't know, Craig is the owner of the Invictus Racing League, He races on the PlayStation side of things, but without him, he's the one that makes all the main decisions in terms of IRL. So he's the one that made the decision to bring us guys on board. So Craig, I know you will watch this stream back. Thank you so much from myself, from Dom, from Matty, and from Andrew for allowing us to work together, for allowing us to commentate on your guys' races. It has been a pleasure, it has been an honour, and hopefully we did it justice for you. I'm going to mirror what Andrew said to Keith. A massive thank you as well for all of your hard work and dedication to Invictus, getting things organised and providing us with those pre-race documents every single week, so we know exactly what's going on in terms of championship permutations, drivers' penalties, and things like that. The admins, Jamie29X, Nathan HRX, and the birthday boy himself, IRL Mats. Thank you guys for assisting us whenever we've needed it and being there to answer any questions we've had regarding weather conditions and things like that. To every driver who has ever driven for Invictus, thank you for turning up every week and giving the three of us, plus Matty, the chance to commentate on your races. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we hope that we've done your racing justice. And finally, from me, before I quickly hand over to Dom, and then I will outro the stream this evening, the most important piece of this IRL puzzle, you guys, the viewers, who turn up every single week and never fail to support the IRL commentators and drivers in whichever event it is that we're doing. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and thank you for letting us do our thing here in IRL. We hope you've enjoyed this ride just as much as we have. Dom, I know you have a few words that you would like to say.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have pretty much nailed most of what I was going to say. Coming into Invictus, I'd done a little bit of commentary elsewhere, not on Formula One, on a completely different game. The tempo was slightly different, and I mean the category was different as well. So I had an idea of how commentary worked. It's not quite called commentary over there; it's called casting, but a similar thing. But I dragged Kieran right into this, and me and Kieran went behind the ears. Never done commentary before, and I mean now he's got gigs here, there, and everywhere. I don't think there's a night that at one point he wasn't busy. But I mean, Invictus was my first Formula One commentary gig, and for that, thank you for the opportunity. I mean, I know that the Invictus Xbox is going into hibernation for now, but I'm just going to ask all drivers if they can just stick around for a little bit, just in case a late offer comes in. Worst case scenario, we start a couple of weeks behind those who are, the other leagues, PC and the PlayStation leagues, and we do a slightly shorter season. I know it's going to be a hard one for us to sit there and ponder around on our Tuesday nights now. It's been a wild ride, from the first race we ever done, which I believe me and Kieran done at Belgium.
Nope.
Was it not Belgium? I swear it was Belgium.
Our first for Invictus was Suzuka last season, season 12.
Ah, yeah, correct. Belgium followed that the week after. Yeah, from our first race in Suzuka, where we got some really, really good feedback, that helped us out with everything, and helped us become the commentators we are today. I mean, it's been a ride, like I said, from Japan to some of the more memorable ones that I've run, such as Singapore last season, Monza last season, Monza this season. Yeah, it's been wild. It really has. To see Portimao on the grid for the first time as well, that really did throw a spanner in the works for some of these drivers. But They prevailed, and we got through it as well. Yeah, just a massive thank you to everyone. A massive thank you to Kieran for showing up every week. And the weeks he couldn't, Andrew and Matty, for them showing up and for the opportunity to go and help them back when they were running realistic and back when, and this season as well, where, neither Kieran or Matty were able to an event, or Kieran and Andrew were able to turn up to an event. It really, really has been a wonderful, wonderful ride with these guys. It really has. So thank you, everyone. Admins, drivers, commentators, fans, sponsors as well. Thank you to the sponsors. They have been a massive part of keeping this alive. If I'm not mistaken, they have to help us keep this going, but unfortunately, alas, nothing prevailed. So that's it from me. And I believe that's it from Andrew as well. That would
Well, I've
be.
got one more thing I would like to say. Just a small thing before we end.
That's fine. But thank you guys. Thank you everyone. It really has been. It really has been wild.
Andrew?
Yeah, definitely. One quick thing I would like to say. I know it sounds cheesy, but if nobody has work tomorrow and people don't really have much to do tomorrow, then please feel free to raise a glass tonight to Invictus and think about all the great memories you've had racing here. And yeah, I'll be definitely doing that in support of
Are
you
you
guys.
crying?
And that's what it is. You don't need to know, but yeah.
He's crying. I'm kidding. We love you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll just pass over to Kira now so we can end and we can get our.
Thank you, gentlemen. So, with that all being said, I guess that's all that's left to say now, is this has been the IRL Xbox F1 Season 13. A massive congratulations to our new Drivers' Champion, Botch Gerbil, along with our Constructors' Champions at Ferrari, Botch Gerbil and Raza 410. To stay in the loop with everything IRL, and to know first about the future of IRL Xbox, please follow us on Twitter at InvictusRL and at InvictusRL_Xbox. If you'd like to watch any IRL race back, head over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/InvictusRL. If Invictus returns, we hope to see you then. But until that time, from the Xbox comms team of Dom Owens, Matty Valander, Andrew Gatton, and myself, Kieran Wright, thank you so much for watching the Invictus Racing League. It has been an honour working for this fantastic, amazing league. Goodbye.